The cinema world is full of bombastic creature, monster, and animal roars. A couple of the most famous being Godzilla's and Jurassic Park's T-Rex. While King Kong's roar may not be as recognizable as the G-Man's iconic roar, it, when combined with his mighty chest bump, delivers the sheer levels of excitement that us movie watchers love. This video will bring light to how the very first King Kong roar was made, and how it shaped not only the Kong movies to follow, but also the rest of cinema. Stay tuned for later in the video so you can hear the evolution of every live-action King Kong's roar to date. The history of Kong's roar. Let's get to it. From the mind of Marion C. Cooper, one of the great pioneers of filmmaking, King Kong was destined to be a monster of epic proportion. That's why when Cooper licensed Kong to RKO Radio Pictures, in order to get his giant ape on the big screen, the creators of the beast needed to have it not only appear threatening, but to sound terrifying. Little did they know they would soon become frontrunners in movie special effects. To find a sound that was both monstrous and unique, the sound design crew, led by Murray Spevek, recorded some of Earth's mightiest land predators, lions and tigers. These animals deliver some amazing sounds that turned out almost perfect. Almost. The creators didn't want Kong to sound like some typical animal. He needed to have his very own sound that was unrecognizable to the audiences. So the lion and tiger sounds alone were a no-go. But the team didn't give up there. For some movie history context, the very first movie to have audio and sound synced up with the visuals was called The Jazz Singer, released in 1927. King Kong came out only 6 years later in 1933. So from silent films to having to create the godfather of monster roars was quite the challenge. But they made it happen, using some of the new movie magic created in the last 10 years at that time. With the lion and tiger roars and sounds, they would play them at different speeds, have some recordings play in reverse, and overlap them over one another until they created the perfect sound for the Ape King. There is also the side note that Murray Spevek used some of his own recorded grunts and sounds to make some of Kong's more human and gentle noises. Something we would see happen again in 2005's King Kong, where famed mocap actor Andy Serkis delivered some of his own sounds for the creation of Peter Jackson's Kong. With all that being said, here is the roar of the very first King Kong. Before we continue with the rest of King Kong's roars, we realize that without your parents and our own, that we might not all have our passion for these monsters. So let this cliche 80s style sitcom intro introduce you to a big sale with our merchandise. Use the code on the screen to get 20% off your next purchase from our store. And go get your parents some awesome merch and thank them for, at the very least, allowing their child to have a deep fascination for men in rubber suits. The sale's gonna end at the end of the month, guys, so don't wait. Thanks, Mom and Dad. King Kong's roar, heard in the 1933 original film, would go on to become one of the greatest influences when it came to sound design for countless future movies. In fact, every Kong to date, including Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong's versions, which used lions, gorillas, monkeys, and other animals to create their roar, continued this type of altering of real-life animal sounds in order to create the sound they desired. Much different than the glove and string technique that created Godzilla's iconic roar. The creation of Kong's roar also was a front runner in establishing stock sounds, or pre-recorded sounds that anyone could find and use, that would go on to be used for nearly every movie ever made. Even Jurassic Park's legendary T-Rex roar was designed using this style of movie magic. So now, residents, I'm going to let you sit back and listen to the sounds of all the live-action Kongs. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you residents enjoyed that bit of roar porn. That didn't sound right. Which one do you think is the best? Let us know in the comments. If you didn't like any of those roars, maybe you will like the sounds for Kong that we created for a special video in the past. What would Kong really sound like? Take a listen to this, and if you want to see the entire video, I'm going to leave a link to that down below.